Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. It is bang on 7 o'clock. Have we signed anybody else? No, not yet, but we may well end up going through this live with some updates. So, of course, we'll be keeping an eye. I'm looking on LCFC Twitter. We've got Sky Sports Open. We've got it all going. We've signed one player on loan. We're going to talk about that. So, as ever, in tonight's show, it is all about transfers. What do you want to talk about? This is your show. So, whatever you guys want to talk about, this is what we'll do. But for me, forget the playoffs now. That's my view. 2 weeks ago, I was all buoyant. Even last Monday, I was still trying to cling on. For me now, forget the playoffs. This is a relegation season if we're not careful. So I want to know your views and comments on it. The transfers, there's been rumours today. There's been one signing. Obviously, we can talk about Joe Aribo. Your views on him. I'll tell you my view. He's played 7 substitutes appearances for Southampton, who are in mid-table nonsense land like we are. So what do you think about Joe? You're probably going to gather what I'm going to say about him. My biggest one today is what the actual effers. Oh, why have we got no striker? We'll talk about that. I'm sure you want to talk about that. Forget the fact that what the F on the manager or what the F on the no director of football. Lascelles from Newcastle, do you want to talk about him? We haven't signed him yet, so we'll still talk about him if you want to. Might be a bit of a waste of time. Maybe he's failed a medical. He's played 19 minutes plus 2 seasons. Let me know your views on that wonder signing. Divine Mukasa from Man City. Again, we've not signed him. I'm going to check again in 20 seconds, but we haven't signed him. But it's rumoured that we're going to get him. We want to know your views on that. Of course, there's PSR to talk about. But most of all, like we always say, it's your show. We want your views. So whatever you want to talk about in the next 1 hour, we're going to go live for 1 hour tonight. And I'm going to be joined by you and I'll share the link. So let me know your views and comments.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Right, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. My name's Phil. If you're watching this live, we want your views, your comments. We can't do it without them. We've got so much to talk about tonight. That's why we're going to go live for an hour. I want to know everything you want to do. Don't forget you can follow us at Leicester Fan TV. And thanks as always to the guys at Pucker Pies. Now, it is your show, so we're going to get comments up on screen. Craig, good evening to you. Hope you're well. Wayne, how's things going? Good evening to you. Mark says the striker was the main point. I know. Well, I wouldn't say left back necessarily. You know, I guess we've got Luke Thomas, you've got Aluko. But striker, jeepers, creepers. Saturday, if it's one thing we need, it's a striker. Get your views and your comments in on that. The Toby128 on YouTube says, good evening, hope you're well. Need a left back, says Bill. A lot of people say left back. I think we need somebody to score a bloody goal because I'm sick, absolutely sick to death of watching what we do up front. Gary says he's got to be better than what we've got in. And where are the other two? He's saying there. Alex, good evening. Hope you're well. Dave Busby says we should be signings, but no signs of a striker. League One, here we come next season. Andy, welcome. Hope you're well. Nitash, we have a striker. No, we don't have a striker. We've literally not got a striker. We'll come on to that. Craig, hope you're well. Nick Moore, Joe Aribo on loan on 70. He's not on 70 grand, Nick. I'm not having that. What a joke. Even the Southampton fans are laughing. He is not on 70 grand. Please, please, please. That is a joke, Nick Moore. You are telling me that is a joke. I'm not falling for that. Craig says, where is the forward we need? It's just ridiculous, mate. Phil, hope you're well, Phil Howard. Haribo, bit of a mixture, to be honest. Might get us out of a gummy mess in there. Hitesh says we've got Daka. Joking. Listen, I actually thought Daka for his 8 minutes or whatever he was given on Saturday at least ran around. I don't know what I've been a supporter of Jordan Ayew and what he tries to bring to the team, but I've got to admit that I'm sick of watching him not be a striker. We need somebody around the penalty area. Ayew and that penalty miss. Anybody can miss a penalty, but it just summed everything up, didn't it? We need a striker, not more midfielders. I would agree 100%, Michael, with you. Wayne says we can't score It's not rocket science in there. Apparently, we have a striker from Chelsea, Clibo, saying, everybody check the detail. I'm going in there. I haven't seen it, and I'm going to get on Taylor and Reedy so that they can help, so I can look at things. Let's add in. Reedy, good evening. Hope you're well.
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Taylor, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate.
Good. I'm going to share the link one more time in there. So if people do want to click on, just like Reedy and Taylor have done, you can give us your views. Somebody saying we signed a striker from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything on that? Taylor?
I've got something. According to Pete O'Rourke, which I don't know if it's Rauch or Rourke, 12 minutes ago, understand Chelsea striker Dujuan Richards has agreed a loan move to Leicester City. And I did a bit of looking into him. He's 20 years old, Jamaican, plays for the under-21s. He's got 2 goals in 11 games in Premier League 2 this season.
Okay. I'm just adding this in.
Worse than Hutchinson stats. So
yes, I've heard a lot about this Hutchinson, and you sort of go, when we're this bad on bad form, why are we not giving him a chance?
No idea.
So this young lad, Dujuan Richards, we know nothing about, but it's not confirmed, is it?
No, I'm just looking at
a sports reporter.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his transfer market stuff now, and yeah, he's scored 2 goals in 11 games in Premier League 2. Like I say, Jake Evans was just doing as much as that, weren't he? So I don't see why we're trying to go for this random striker from Chelsea, if I'm totally honest.
Well, let's get some views and comments in. Neil says, good evening, hope you're well. Karen says, shocking transfer window. Reedy, let's just start with that. Shocking transfer window. What are your views on it? I mean, it's not over yet, or officially it is, but we've only signed 1 player so far.
I'm guessing we've got the other 2 because there was so much rumoured around it. I'm happy that we've got Aribo in. I actually think he's a decent player. Again, he can't be playing in Europe for Rangers and playing in Southampton's Premier League team as well as in the Championship. For me, I think it's a good signing. Hopefully he's not on 70 grand a week, but Ayew.
I hope that was a joke. I truly hope that was a joke.
I really do hope it. Like I say, if he's on loan, then surely we don't pay all of his wages anyway. But either way, I'd say that the window has been poor. I think it hasn't helped that we've sat Marty right near the end of the transfer window. Again, who has brought in Joe Aribo, because Marty's not chosen it. So I don't have a clue who or what signed this person, but hey ho. Yeah, I'm not too sure what else we could do. Again, I don't think we need a left back. I think what's his name, Aluko could easily do that job. And striker, yeah, it's pointless.
Really, I'm just going to sort. Is that your mic making some very funny noises? I'm going to mute you for a minute.
Apparently.
I mean, to be fair, I'd love to mute Reedy most of the times. He sits right behind me in the game. If you've seen the video from Saturday when Jordan Ayew missed a goal, you'll hear Reedy. I get that all game, plus his nonsense. Taylor, Joe Aribo, for me, he's played 7 substitutes appearances for one of our rivals in the league, mid-table. I'm not wowed at all by him, and I'm not sure we need another player like Joe Aribo in the squad. But what's your take on it, Taylor?
If you look at his time at Southampton, he's got 9 goals in 111 games for Southampton. I think he's fell out with the club because he doesn't seem to even be on the bench. I saw he wasn't on the bench against Stoke on the weekend, so I think he's fell out with the club. He's got, if you go off a full Championship campaign from 2 years ago, he got 4 goals in 38 games for Southampton when they went up. But I wouldn't say it's inspiring, but he's a signing, and honestly, I'd just take any signing at the moment.
Yeah, I've heard that. People, I got into a bit of a debate earlier on WhatsApp with some different people, and they're going, isn't it better than nothing? To which in the end, I had to agree that argument was correct, because the pile of total shit that I watched on Saturday, Taylor, and I hate to swear, but I've got to that point now where that's what I watched. Anybody would be better. But by saying that, I would say somebody from Loughborough Dynamo or Fry Lane Old Boys or Holwell Sports in Melton. I'd take anybody from any of those over what I was watching on Saturday. So I do understand what you're saying, Taylor. Something is better than nothing isn't it, Koulibaly from last January? He wasn't better than what we got.
It's true. Yeah, it's a good point. He did score against us, Aribo, in that game where Ayew scored a last-minute winner. So that's the only thing I can say. He's got a chant that we can sing, and that's about it, really.
Let's move on. Reedy, I'll put your sound back on for this. I think Jamal Lascelles would be a good player for us. What's your view on him?
When I first heard about him, I was happy with it. Dem's one of my Forest mates spoke to me and messaged me saying how we've fallen off so badly that we're going for an ex-Forest player from 14 years ago, and now just looking at it, he's played 19 minutes in 2 years, and classic Leicester going for someone who's very much injury prone, and of course Newcastle don't want him because he's never there to be played. So for me, as much as we need a leader, nowhere near for me. As much as I was happy to begin with looking at him, he's nowhere near the level on him.
I mean, Taylor, over the years, he has been a good player for Newcastle over a long period of time. But more recently, like Reedy says, that is a stat, 19 minutes of football in 2 years.
Yeah, but I know he's old now. He's 32, but he's just been hit with a big injury. And I think a lot of Newcastle fans on Twitter, from what I've read, they really do like him. And if you go back to I know he missed the whole of the 24-25 season, but from the 23-24 season, he played 26 games, with 16 being in the Prem and even 5 in the Champions League. So if he's still got that player and he gets rid of his injury issues, and he's not as old as I actually thought he was, but he's played 5 Champions League games, so he must have a lot of experience. He's obviously been at Newcastle for years. I think it is a good signing. It's just hopefully it doesn't turn out to be like Cottee.
Yeah, which it could be. Tonight's going to be one of those shows where we're looking at various screens we've got all around us. So do bear with us. People are definitely reporting that we have signed.
We do usually announce stuff on the hour or on or like quarter past or half past.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
People are saying that we've signed Dujuan Richards from Chelsea, but I am looking on it. I can't see it on anything like even close to official, like Sky Sports.
I don't think concrete. Yeah, there's no concrete reporting anyway.
So I think we're still at the stage that some people on Twitter are saying it's a thing, which it could well be. I'm not knocking them.
I do think that Sports Pete is a reliable source. We've had him before when we've signed people, but it's not confirmed yet.
Did you really like when this guy comes in? How old is he again? Like for me,
he's 20.
Surely you don't put him in. I think even I would be better than him, and he's shit. So,
Scooby Baz says they sign anyone from a Sunday League outfit, they would give you passion and pride. Well, they would. This is what I would say. Tom Fiora says, so glad there's no midweek game tomorrow. Couldn't think of anything worse than watching this bunch of players in there. Luke says, have we signed Mr. Blobby in there? More pound shop buys, visits by Mr. Rudkin, or Ruskin, as Alan calls him. How there? Nathan saying, how many players have we signed? Officially, Nathan, it's just 1. But it sounds like it's going to be 2 if this young lad, Dujuan Richards from Chelsea, signs in there. Somebody we've not mentioned, Reedy, as yet is Divine Mukasa. I don't know if I'm saying that right, from Man City. That was quite a big set of news earlier, and then it's gone all very quiet.
I wouldn't say it's gone quiet. I think the most reliable source that we've seen, again, I believe anyway, is Fabrizio Romano. When he says something, it's usually dead on. It's sorted. So he's basically said it was basically a done deal. We're just waiting for the final bits. And obviously, Man City have actually gave him a new contract before leaving on loan to us. So we have no chance in buying him, even if he does come, which is an obvious one because it's Man City. But I actually think, do you know what? If he comes in, I don't think it can be worse than what we've got. I think Bobby Reid has improved us the last few weeks when he's been in. But again, I don't think this guy's going to run Bobby out of his position, to be honest. I think he's just going to be as good or a good replacement when Bobby needs to come off the pitch. So, yeah, again, I was a big fan of El Canous when he was here. I don't think he'll be anywhere near that, but you never know.
Taylor, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the deal. I mean, according to Pep Guardiola, Pep said he's an unbelievable player. He's incredibly top in the pockets. In the strike position, he has a good sense. He's a top player with a sense of touch, but he's 18, and I'm thinking a 6-month loan for an 18-year-old, is that really going to do anything? I mean, he's played 6 games for Man City's men's this season, 2 in the Premier League and 3 in the Carabao Cup, but I'm just not sure if that's going to make a big difference in 6 months.
Well, you did say the word striker there.
I
Surely
did.
we're not buying him for up front. Surely we're not buying him for up front.
It says he can play striker, but his primary position is a number 10, same as Aribo.
Why are we buying 2 10s for?
I don't.
Matt says we've got until 9 o'clock to announce signings as long as the paperwork is completed by 7. Yes, Matt, there may well be more signings on their way. Keep your comments coming in. We'll get some more on there. And don't forget, if you want to click on the link like Jono just has done, then by all means you can come on. I'm going to get Jono in very, very shortly. Andy says who's going to replace Ayew as Captain Slow in there. Alex says, can any of the new signings score penalties? Nick says, who scores more, Dujuan or Daka?
Dakar.
Dujuan.
A name that me and Reedy were talking about, Michael Goldie earlier, signed £5 million and nowhere near the first team. He is on lcfc.com in the squad, but yeah, just nowhere to be seen, Dougie. It's funny that you mentioned him, and yet it wasn't there. Get rid of the backroom staff. 4 managers are sacked. They all can't be wrong. Look at the players. They're not interested. Let's get Jono in. Jono, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, Jono. You've clicked in. Thanks for clicking. Anybody can do that. Jono, what's your starting point you want to talk about tonight?
I'm just shocked that I think it's for the last 4 years we always leave our business to the very end. It's happened in the summer. We made no deals over the whole summer window, and then we made all our signings in the last few days. Same's happening this one. It only happens when Top's here, so that's really annoying. We got Aribo over the line, which is a good thing. I know Soumare's left, but we're still light in striker. I know we're going to get that Man City kid through the door, but he's not a striker. He's not an all-out striker, and he's also not experienced. So I think we're just a bit light. I don't know why we didn't go for Callum Wilson, ready and available transfer. So yeah, overall, I think another poor transfer window.
I mean, just chucking it back, Reedy, and we're going to go all over the place in this next hour with this conversation while things are happening. But Reedy, I'm almost laughing because of the Enzo rumours of Enzo coming back as manager.
No.
But Reed, let's start with Reed. I mean, Reedy's would love to be Enzo's love child, I think. So
my boy, please come back. You will save us. You will bring us back to promotion. You will have us. If we can get a deal to him, which is probably 99% chance never, but if there's any chance in coming back, for me, he would honestly sort this team out and get us back to where he needs to be. I know a lot of people won't be happy because it's his style of play, but yeah, it did it 2 years ago. I know the squad was a bit better. Well, I'd say a bit better, but I'd still say we've got the squad to do it if he came in. And for me, Enzo is up here. Marty, technical wise, he's down here. But obviously, I know it's going to be hard to get that now. So
it's really interesting. I mean, for me, Enzo's just gone and managed for 18 months at one of the world's biggest football clubs. Like it or hate it, Chelsea are in that league. He won them the World Club thing, got them in the Champions League. Listen, they sacked him, but he would get a job at many top 6 clubs in many European leagues. So I think he'll just sit around. I think Enzo would be mentally crazy to come back to Leicester City. He's got no reason to come back here at all. He's got nothing to prove, no reason to come back and help us out.
He started his career.
Well, I don't think that matters really. I just don't think he would want to come back here, because if he was to take us down to League One, he's gone from suddenly being a manager that other teams, when they sack a manager or whatever, might be interested in. So people are going to go, he's just got a team relegated. I don't think he could get a tune out of these players at all. Taylor, what's your thought on Enzo?
I loved Enzo. I love him still, but I just don't think he would be right for the job. If I saw the news and it said Enzo Maresca to Leicester, here we go, or whatever, I would be, don't get me wrong, I'd be like, oh, I'm really happy. But if you actually think about it, I don't think it'd be the best thing. He needs players that are technically brilliant. And we don't have any players or many that are technically brilliant. I just don't think that would suit us, especially not a championship relegation battle. He's just beat PSG 4-0 in the Club World Cup final. It's like won the most money from a prize competition ever. He can't then scrape, like, it's not a championship relegation manager. But
Jono, your thoughts?
The thing is we planned with Enzo. We all liked Enzo in a way that we were consistent. A lot of people didn't like the tippy-tappy football, but he got the best out of our players. Then he just abandoned us, and then yes, the club responded to that badly, but we just he just left. We had a big plan set. We knew what we were doing, and he just left. And why would we go out and try and look for him again? I don't see the point. He's ditched us. Why would we go, oh, please come back to us? No, I don't like it. No. You can't do it. If he comes back, fair enough, but I wouldn't be going out for him. But
no,
if we get Russell Martin, geez.
God.
Well, come on to others. I just wanted to chuck Enzo in because a few people were commenting about it. Neil, I could not agree more with Neil's comments. Charlton beat us by using the old Wimbledon style. I think they were a bit better than that, to be fair, but Charlton hit it long and win either the first or the second ball with physicality. Fancy down, tippy tap is not the only way to win a match. Neil, you know it and I know it because we've seen both ways. It doesn't just... For me, I've said it for a well number of weeks. The players we've got at the moment, in my opinion, are nowhere near good enough. Even though the fact a lot are from the Premier League era to play this tippy tap football, we just... Whatever it is, we can't do it. So for me, we just need to stop trying to do it. And I actually thought, and I'll come back to Reedy on this. Reedy, there was 15 minutes in that second half where even you turned round to me, and you did say this to me. You said, look what happens when we just get the ball in the box. Because for 10 or 15 minutes on Saturday, Reedy, against Charlton, we got the ball in the box and we created a little bit of mischief in the area. And it felt like something was going to happen. And then we went straight back to possession-based football.
No, it was possession-based football when we were doing that. Again, we just got the ball forward a lot quicker. And that is what we want to do. Again, that's what I think Marty wanted to do as well. That's what Enzo wanted to do. No, because I think the players aren't good enough to make the passes quick enough without messing up. Again, when you've got Hamza Chowdhury in that DM role needs to spring the ball forward somewhere, he's not got the capability to do it. For me, like I say, this is why I want Enzo back, because there were certain players who really loved the style. Again, you saw the best of Winks then. You saw the best of a lot more players in that system because he knew what he had to do technically to move the ball around to get opportunities to go. Yes, you might have only got one or two a game, but then one or two a game most likely went to a goal. So for me, I was happy to see the ball a bit more direct against Charlton and in them 15 minutes after half time, but it was still the passing football that everyone apparently doesn't like. Again, you can't just keep hooving the ball up no matter what from the defence. You've got to pass the ball around at times, but I think that, like I say, it's mainly the wingers for me. If you can get them wingers running first and then you get the ball to them instead of waiting for the ball and then making their run, it's a different story. So again, I'm still on the passing side of things, but they need to be a bit quicker with it, because I think if you can be quicker with the ball, you're gonna get more opportunities, and that's what we nearly did against them in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely, Reedy. You've caught me. I was looking at transfer window on Sky.
You might get something at half seven. You never know.
Yeah, we'll see. Mark Goodacre has just clicked on the link. I'm going to add Mark in. Mark, let's get you in there. Hello, thanks for clicking on the link. Everybody's welcome. How are you, Mark?
Hi, Phil. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on, Mark. Obviously, a lot going on tonight. Transfer windows, managers. What's your thought on transfer deadline day so far? We've only signed one player, but at least it's one player.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the rumours and the headlines, it looks like we're going for two youngsters, don't we? Is it Mukasa from Manchester City and Richards from Chelsea? I think they're 18 and 19. So I guess we're going for kids again. I think Aribo signed as the winger from Southampton, and we're linked with Lascelles. So it looks like we're trying to bring bodies into the squad, which we desperately need. I guess time will tell whether these are the right people or not.
Yeah, absolutely. A few more comments coming in. Lee says here, we probably would have stayed up under Marty, though. If you go off average games won and points picked up, with a reduction, Marty would have kept us up. But now we're worrying about relegation. We'll come on to PSR in a minute, Lee. Neil says, we actually didn't play too badly in the second half, but all too late. The biggest problem was Ayew. He killed every single move in there. Mark, just what is your thoughts? We've not really touched on Jordan Ayew yet. What are your thoughts on him recently?
I'm not a massive fan, to be quite honest with you. Certainly not as a number 9, not as a striker. I think by his own admission, he's not a number 9. I think there's a thing that where people say he works hard, but for me, I think he takes too many touches. I think he holds up the play too much. I just don't think he's what we need, to be honest. As I say, I will caveat that by saying I don't think he's a striker. I think he comes too deep for the ball, so he's probably playing slightly out of position. But I would hope that come the end of May that with him being out of contract, that's probably the last we'll see of him in a Leicester shirt.
And Jono, your thoughts on Jordan Ayew and his performance in particular on Saturday? Because I've got to be fair to you, Jono. I've got to be fair. There was a lot of... I wasn't impressed by Jordan Ayew at all on Saturday, but he was getting some really quite torrid abuse from Leicester fans throughout the game, and certainly towards the end, which, much as I wasn't impressed by his performance, I thought it was a little bit heavy going on one of our own. But what did you think, Jono?
It's just frustrating to watch because when you're trying to attack, and if you have two wingers, like fast wingers like Mavadine and Futaru, they're going to overtake Ayew, and then there's no one in that middle pocket to pass the ball to. Only when Ayew gets the ball, he's very good at disputing it, but backwards, he gets the ball, he holds it, and by that point, all the defenders are back, and we can't do anything. And that's why fans are frustrated. I don't think all the frustration is he's a bad player. He's just frustrated that he's not doing anything with it. And we're just like, just turn around and if you can't run the ball yourself, turn around. You're very good on the ball. Turn around and try and see if Mavadidi or Futaru can come inside and pass it to them. But he doesn't do that. He gets the ball, holds it way too long. Goes back to midfield or defence again. And that's where the frustration lies.
It's tricky. Glenn says spends too much time on his backside. I know what he's trying to do, Glenn. You do. He's winning a free kick and he's moving the possession forwards. But it's just when it's every time he gets the ball, he goes over. It's just embarrassing. Ralph says slow, can't shoot, and falls over all the time in there. Ayew is all he does is fall down, says Craig in there. Stephen Payne says he's lazy. Lee says Lee Shepherd should be the new set piece coach. Okay, fair enough in there. Reedy, Jordan Ayew. Is that it?
I might be able to speak. Hey, do you know what? I've just been literally thinking about the last 30 seconds. If he did what Vardy did in 2 years ago in the Championship with coming deep, and the moment he wins that ball, he passes it off to someone, he would be brilliant at that. But the thing is, the fact that what he does is he gets the ball, puts his foot on it, holds it. The players behind him pulls him down, and he gets free kick. If he could release that ball the moment he gets it and moves the ball forward, it'd be a lot better. But that's what you can't do.
He's playing for the free kick. That is his one thing.
No, that is the problem. He's not good enough at doing the ball into him and he passes it straight off to someone else. He just literally wants to hold the ball, and he can't. He's not even strong enough to even like hold the ball up. He just gets put down on the floor, and the amount of times he does it, that's why half the time he doesn't get a foul for it, because he goes down too easily.
I think
for me, he's useless.
I think the refs have sussed him out well and truly. Jay says here, Ayew gives him a lot of the Taylor and Reedy, and even Jono might not remember Mark de Vries, but Jay says he gives him Mark de Vries PTSD. I don't know what you mean. That's why I'm laughing, mate. Andy says Captain Slow is quicker than Ayew. Alex says even if Ayew is trying to win free kicks by going down, he isn't getting them. He's not anymore because the league that we're in, the Championship refs are not having it, and he's leaving us without a player.
Do you know what the biggest thing is about getting free kicks as well? The fact is, if he wins a free kick, what are we going to do with it? There's not one set piece taker. Whoever takes it, it's probably going to be Ayew because he's the set piece taker for everything, apparently. Like, what we're going to do, he's not going to put a good ball in because we never have a good ball put in. So for me, there's no point getting fouls. It's pointless.
Yeah, it's tricky. Jono, just a quickie with you on Ayew.
Well, as I said before, I think he just slows play down too much, and yeah, I think I've just seen apparently we might have signed Dujuan Richards. I don't know if that's a serious link or if that's just a little rumor that's been going around. But
it's been going around. We believe we have, but there's nothing confirmed at all on that at all at the moment.
All
nothing
we need
official.
But what frustrates me is that if we wanted a young player who could play striker, we had one. Where's Jake? What's the point in loaning out Jake Evans if you're going to get a youngster who's playing at striker? John Rudkin, honestly.
Well, that brings me on. Mark, I'm going to ask this. I'm going to ask this to Mark, and then I'll come on to some other people. But Mark, who do you think? Because who's running the ship? Because Top's got back on a plane and gone back to Thailand. So, Mark, we've got no director of football. We've got no CEO. It kind of only leaves John Rudkin that we know of in Leicester City's headquarters. So is it John Rudkin doing all this, even though we were told he's moved on? Who's doing all this, Mark?
It's got to be Rudkin. It's got to be Martin Glover as well, hasn't it? The new head of recruitment they got from Southampton a couple of years ago. It's got to be them pair that are doing the deals behind the scenes. But it's a really good point you just made about the fact that we've sent Jake Evans out on loan at 17 to Northampton Town, which were doing the world of good, to be honest. But then we took a 90-year-old from Chelsea. So I agree with that. My fear is we're getting these young lads in from Manchester City and Chelsea, and I know they've got good reputations, but if that's going to hamper the Louis Pages and the Jake Evans, for example, then it's not a good way of doing things, in my honest opinion. So I agree with that comment that I just don't want to hamper the academy lads by bringing these young lads in and stumping their growth, so to speak.
It's an interesting one, Mark. To be fair, when you're saying that, I hadn't really thought of that. You know, we've got this. They keep talking about these academy products at Leicester, cream of the crop, generational talents, and yet, Mark, Jake Evans hasn't been given a second. There's this Hutchinson. We've got to give one or two of them a chance. I mean, I know Aluko's been in there. Silko Thomas, Munger a bit on the edges.
I mean, I go to Seagrove most weeks to watch the academy lads. They have done since 2021, and this crop coming through now are by far the best I've seen down there the last 4 years. But I have to acknowledge that playing under 21s football is worlds apart from playing championship football as well. But I have been impressed with Louis Page. To be honest, I think he's getting better by the week in terms of the way he looks after the football. For me, the best player down the academy lads that I've seen is Aluko, believe it or not. Very versatile, can play right back, left back, centre back. And I thought he was if we're looking for any kind of positives on Saturday against Charlton, I thought Aluko actually had a half decent game, to be honest. There's another lad coming through called Mukasa. He's 15. He's looking really good, got quite a few assists. Hutchinson scoring goals for fun in the under-18s as well.
Mark, on Hutchinson, because you've seen him, I've seen how many goals he scored. Isn't he worth a punt one weekend?
I would say so. And I was disappointed a few weeks ago when we played Cheltenham. We were 2-0 up against Cheltenham, and I thought this is a great opportunity now to bring Jake Evans on for 15 or 20 minutes to see the game out. And I think he brought an Ayew. So I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. I mean, Jake Evans I think he's just turned 17. Physically, he looks 17 as well. He's got a baby face as well. So I think he does look 16, 17 years of age, whereas Munger, I think, looks a bit older, carries himself a bit older as well. But I would like to see Evans given at least 15 or 20 minutes so far this season in the first team. But for whatever reason, the management decided not to do that. So
it's tricky. Taylor, let's bring it back to you. On Saturday, Taylor.
I'm going to head off. Thanks for having me on.
Let's get you on, Jono. Any final thoughts just before you go, Jono?
I need to see Lascelles from Newcastle announced, and I need to see a striker announced. If not, then we're getting relegated, because what we've got right now at front and at centre back isn't good enough. So, yeah, that's it really.
Jono, I know obviously you do. Jono does his shows every Thursday night here on Fox's Focus. Jono, can I just quickly ask you, are you now worried we're going to get relegated?
I said at the beginning of the season that we're not going to get playoffs. A lot of people said we're not going to get playoff. We're going to get playoffs. I said no, we're not. I think if we don't win the next 2 or 3 games, we're getting relegated, because don't forget, yes, we're 14th, but we've got a point deduction coming, and it will come. We don't know if it's 6, 12, 9, 5. We have no idea how many points it's going to be. And the last time all the players and staff said, "Oh, we're going to be fine," we got relegated from the Premier League, and that's where all these financial problems started. So I think I'm actually 70% sure we are going to get relegated at this rate. I've not got any confidence that we're going to stay up.
Okay, all right, Jono. Don't forget, if you want to watch Jono, you can join him live every Thursday at 7:30. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Yeah,
he's gone. Mark, bringing it back to you. Top's interview last Sunday, Mark, I found interesting. I don't know how much of it you watched. The biggest, it was a strange one, because he was kind of laughing at times and kind of saying, well, if we don't get promoted this year, we'll get promoted next year. I think one of the things that worried me the most, to be fair, was when he was asked, I think it was by Owen from Radio Leicester, he was asked a question about being relegated from the Premier League. And he kind of said, yes, I still don't know how we managed to get relegated when we did 2 years ago from the Premier League the first time. To which it was kind of like, my thought was, Mark, that they were meant to have done a review into that relegation, which none of us ever got told the report or the findings of it. But it sounds like Top himself hasn't been given, like, it feels like that nobody's, I come back to who is sort of doing this with them. Did you hear that bit in the interview, and did it make you scratch your head a bit?
I did. There was a couple of bits that he said where I scratched my head. The first one was the Owen interview, wasn't it? When Owen said to him, "What if we don't get promoted this season?" And he said, "Well, we'll get promoted next season." Then burst into laughter. And then then there was another bit where I think this might be with the national press about the PSR, and he said, "Are you worried?" And he said, "Yes, I am worried," which I thought was quite telling, to be honest. And then there was a bit around the PSR where he said, "We're doing everything we can to comply. The only time we didn't know our numbers was the year we got relegated," which again, as a businessman, Leicester City is a multi-million-pound business. You're employing people, no pun intended, top people you'd expect to be crawling all over the numbers with PSR. And he said he didn't know what the numbers were for the first year in 2022, 2023. Now, if you cast your mind back to the summer of 2022, that's where we had to sell Fofana. It's where Brendan Rodgers was on about having a refresh, and then said he backtracked and said, "No, it's a refresh of culture," I think he said at the time. We sold Fofana, we were getting bids in for Maddison. So he knew in the summer of 2022 that from a PSR standpoint, we were sailing close to the edge. So to say he didn't know what the numbers were for that year is alarming. But I acknowledge Top's, English is not his first language, and we've been desperate for Top to come out and give an interview, haven't we? What I would say is,
he hadn't, Mark. I wish he hadn't come out, because since watching that, I've gone, I'm not sure this guy has got really a grasp on the club, and I'm not sure. You're right. As somebody who was going to take us forward, Mark, or it seemed like this is the problem. I think I could have pulled the wool over his eyes with a few excuses.
I think he's probably done it. I mean, like anything in life, Phil, actions speak louder than words. And now he's come out to the national press and said X, Y, and Z will turn it around. He's now going to be scrutinised even more. And as I say, most of the fan base wanted some kind of communication from him, but I think he's probably done himself a bit more damage by what he said last week. I mean, I might be completely out of order here, but I don't think he's a businessman, and I'm not even sure if he's a football man either. But what I've been told, his main passions in life are polo and horse racing. And I know he's been chucked into this, with the sad death of his Vichai back in 2018, and maybe he feels he has to do this, but I don't think his heart's in it, to be honest. I really don't. And that's not, in businesses, some people run businesses and they get people to run them for them, don't they? So maybe he needs to employ somebody else to run the club. But I think whilst he's there, John Rucker will always be there, won't he, as well?
Yeah, which I think we're all gathering is part of the problem. Reedy, here's a question I'm going to give to you. It's from Andy Medhurst. And unusually for Andy, that's quite a serious question, Andy. Why did Top not show up for the second half, Reedy? Because he's there at the match. He's come all the way from Thailand to come to the match. Before I say anything, what is your thoughts, Reedy, on Top not coming out for the second half?
I think we're all going to speculate when things like this happen, in the fact of, he's not come out for second half, it means he doesn't want to watch it, or he's had enough of it, or whatnot. But if anything, and probably the truth of it is probably he was getting cold and he wanted to sit inside for the second half, and he did still watch it. Again, we will look at it because of all the things that are happening. It could be the case of what we're saying, and the fact that
it sends a message, Reedy.
It does send a message, yes. It does send a message, yes. And I'm not saying anything's true or false or whatnot, but like I said, he was there for the whole of the Oxford game. He obviously did his business by sacking Marty and then went back to Thailand. He came back to see the Charlton game to see if maybe things changed and improved, but obviously it didn't. And yeah, again, he disappeared in the second half, which we can only assume and stuff, and we can never know the truth because nothing's going to ever come out and say why wasn't he there. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that he said in the interviews that you've already spoke about that are kind of head scratchers, but in the end, we can only assume and never know what the truth is about it all.
I'm going to add Clibbo in because he's clicked on the link. I've just shared the link again, so if anybody wants to. Clibbo, mate, great to get you back on again. It's been a little while, but we always love having you on. What's your thoughts tonight, Clibbo? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There's a double echo.
Delay.
I'll say what delay. I can hear you. Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Clibbo?
I'll try and say this without sending myself. Right, hang on. I'm going to have to click out because I've got like 3 different conversations.
I think Clibbo is feeling like most of us Leicester fans. We've got multiple different conversations. I'm going to come to you, Taylor, in a second. Taylor, if you've got any updates on loans, please just let me know in there. Yeah. I'll get a couple of comments in there. I didn't come out second half. I went home at half time, says Jason. Well, yes, I'm sure some fans did, but you get called out. Bazza said, was his plane leaving later that night? Of course it was, yeah. In fact, he left, I think, yesterday. Top is in it for the King Power money. He hasn't invested his own money. I would say we need a complete clear out before we get to the Milan and Mandaric scenario again in there. Taylor, has there been any more updates?
No, not at the moment. All there is that I'm pretty sure we've got until 9 o'clock and we should know everything before 9 o'clock. But as it stands, there's nothing. It's just hit 45. I think the next chance will be 8 o'clock before we see anything now. Why
do we leave things so late?
I never understand this. I just don't get it. How can we have 30 days to do signings? English, all of these are English signings, so they can't be too difficult to do. And we wait till after the transfer window shut before we even finalise it. I never understand it. We always do it. I just don't get it, to be honest.
I'm gonna add Clibbo back in. Let's see if we can get him in. Yes, Clibbo, if you can hear me, just say what you want to say.
Well, I've got no echo now. I've sorted the problem. I mean, it does smack a little bit of desperation, but let's be honest, the club has been running on desperation for quite some time now. I think we are addressing the midfield issues, but when those midfielders come back, we're going to be flooded with midfielders. I do hope it doesn't take Page out of the equation because I think he's been doing really well. I've also been impressed with Skip. I feel a bit sorry for him. And it's like, I think Reedy said the other day about if Winks he's coming back permanently. What does that mean for Skip? That's slightly unfair for me. The striker situation, although I would like these players to be at our club, I think we need a wily old head. And some years ago, Martin O'Neill plucked from obscurity a certain Tony Cottee, which did the trick. And I think that's something we need right now.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, Mark. I agree with what Clibbo said there, in the fact that I thought if we're going to sign in a couple of players on loan, for me, again, Mark, you go and watch young lads all the time, you're saying down at Seagrave. If it's one thing you probably don't want to do is chuck in a young into a team where there was booing on Saturday, there was grumblings, there's moaning. It's off that. Whereas if you put an old head in there, like Clibbo said, somebody who knows what they're doing a little bit more, they can probably just brush it off and get on with things. It's a tough ask to get loan in players who are young and then deal with that.
Mm. What I would say, though, I think with the academy lads, the fans will never turn on the academy lads, will they? Especially the 17, 18-year-olds, especially that are making, their debuts, what have you. And also they've got no fear. But I do agree that it must be an horrendous atmosphere to play in front of. As soon as a pass goes astray, there's the booing, the jeering, and I get all that, to be honest. So it's not the most positive of environments for these young lads to play in, but they've got no fear and they will be backed by the supporters. But just going back to the point about strikers, we needed a couple of strikers last summer, didn't we? So it's criminal if we don't get at least one established striker to the door by end of play today, because we cannot continue with Daka and Ayew as our main two strikers, if you can call them that, for the end of the season, because we don't score enough goals. And you can have all the creativity in the world, but Daka and Ayew will not score the goals to essentially keep you up, will they?
Mark, you've almost stolen my next question, which is I'm going to ask you all. And I'll start with Reedy and then Clibbo and then Taylor, just quickly. If there was one type of player you could have signed today, what would it have been, Reedy? What position?
I think majority of us probably would say striker, but if I'm totally honest, it would be a captain. I think the team at the moment haven't got anyone to tell them what to do. I know people are saying this Lascelles will do it, but I'm sorry if he's not going to be.
He's got to be on the pitch, hasn't he, for a start?
Yeah, he's got to be on the pitch. Again, even like someone like Casper, for me, he was too far back in the field for him to be a captain. I know he was a good leader and whatnot, but you need a captain who's in the middle to get stuck in and people can hear him. For me, something like Lascelles or anyone like that, we need another, I don't know, another Cambiasso or someone like that who will get in there and tell them what needs to happen. And apparently, I know I didn't see it, but apparently Winks, when he was back into the squad second half of the Charlton game, he was apparently talking to the youngsters about doing as much as they could. So, I'm not saying he should be the captain going forward. I'm just saying that you need someone who can tell him what to do, and apparently we haven't done that at the moment. So unless Lascelles comes in and he does get back to fitness fully and he plays week in, week out, fair enough. But at the moment, we haven't got it.
Taylor, what about you? What sort of player should we have signed? Not necessarily a name, but what position?
I think what annoys me with Leicester the last couple of years is when we've needed, I know you say not a position or a name, but when we've needed a striker, we always try and go for some hidden gem. We're trying to find the next big thing from some random club. Like we've just, if we get this 20-year-old from Chelsea down the line, what's that going to do? What would have been perfect, it's a shame he got injured, would have been Mikel Antonio, a proper English proven striker, not a risk, not a 20-year-old, a proven, even aging. Like look at McBurney for Hull, a player like that.
I'd agree.
Yeah, and Clibbo, how about you? You've already said Tony Cottee, but was it a striker? Or I like what Reedy said about a leader. Tony Cottee would answer both because he would lead from the front. But what was the biggest thing? Because I don't think we're going to sign a striker or a leader.
No, I mean, I quite like centre backs being leaders. So
Jamal Lascelles would work for you.
It would. I mean, I think he was he captain for about 5 or 6 years at Newcastle.
Yeah. He's done a lot there. He's a good player if he can be fit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's all sorts of rumours going that he failed a medical here, and this. I mean,
yes, I must admit I've heard that, Clibbo. That he's
silly season. The problem that you've got with this club, particularly, is you've got quite a split fan base. So you've got a lot of younger fans that want to see the young progressive football, which I completely understand. I should imagine if I was 20 years younger, that's what I would want to see. But you've got to have a certain amount of experience in the team in certain points of any team if you're surrounded by youngsters. The problem we have got experienced players like Ayew, but I don't want to be mean to the guy, but he's useless. He might have been a couple of years ago better, but he's just useless. He doesn't progress the team. And what he ends up doing is holding the ball, waiting for us to push on. And by the time that's happened, our strategy is gone because the other team have sussed us out, got into position, and then we like the other day, there was balls going into the box like was mentioned. But we were just hitting people's legs with shots because they just crowded us out. And you've got to have that little bit of nous. And that doesn't necessarily mean unbelievably skillful, like someone like Monga. It means just having a little bit of nous, positioning, where to run. But I don't think there's a connect between the wingers and the front. Well, the front one, I would hesitate to say.
I'm gonna pass this one back to Mark. PSR, we've barely touched on it tonight, but I think everybody is now acknowledging that we are going to get a PSR deduction, and it could be 6 points. I'm actually hearing it could be 9 or 10 points. I don't believe it can be over 12, but they are fearing that it really could be a big, hefty 9 or 10 points. I'd almost say, Mark, I actually feel this squad we've got at the moment, I think this is the worst set of players we've had in over 20 years. The team we had when we got relegated at Stoke in 2007, I think is a better set of players than this, and that's not saying a lot. I think we're on the road to getting relegated this season, regardless of PSR. But how worried are you?
I'm definitely concerned. I mean, my mindset in the summer was I never thought we'd be pushing for promotion. I thought it was a consolidation year to build a new team, integrate the academy lads, take the points deduction, and try and enjoy my football again. But I must admit, leading up to Christmas time, especially that QPR game, that's when I really thought we could be in a relegation battle, 100%. The Wrexham game was a real concern. We then followed up by the Oxford game, which was even worse. And the Charlton game Saturday, when you've got a defender and after 15 minutes, we've got all the characteristics in this team and this squad are going down. And the only leader we've got in this team that I've seen that's shown any kind of leadership on and off the pitch is Jordan James. And he's a 21-year-old loanee. So you're right what you've all just said. We've got no real leaders. We've got no real steel. I don't think Ricardo's a captain. I think he's about finished, to be honest.
I agree.
And I love the bloke. He's been great for us, but I think the injuries now took a toll. I think his contract expires in the end of May, so he's probably talking to clubs now. But yeah, we've got no real leaders. And when we went down in 2007, 2008, I think our defence was pretty good, if memory serves me right. We didn't concede too many. And we also had Matty Fry to score the odd goal for us. So we did have a bit more going for us back in 20 years ago. So yeah, to answer your question, I really think we are in a 100% relegation scrap, regardless of points deductions. Now, I guess the only positive, and I'm clutching at straws here, is Sheff Wednesday are gone, and you've got teams like West Bromwich are in free fall as well, and they've changed their managers, so there could be two worse teams than us, but it's going to be close unless we book our ideas up.
It will be. Here's some names from that 2007-2008 final match at Stoke. I had to look it up. There's some I remembered, if you had to ask me. But it was Henderson, Stearman, Ngotti, McCauley, Mattock. Like Mark was saying, that's not a bad
Phil, was that the guy Harry Worley? Did he make his debut for that game?
Worley, yeah, I don't remember him at all.
I think it's the only game he played for. I think we got him on. I think we signed him from Chelsea. It's the only game he ever played. He got chucked in for that game.
I looked at the name and thought Worley. I can't remember it. Fry came on for him anyway, and then we had Oakley. Scott Oakley was all right. Ian Hume, Stevie Howard, Bell. I don't remember Bell.
David Bell, yeah.
But Chambers came on for him, and then we had Hales, there was some. I'd rather have that team. And I remember, which I've said it many times, I remember Richard Stearman hitting the crossbar in the final few minutes. And he trust me, I saw it, he headed it, and then he ran towards us. He thought he'd scored, and he went straight into tears. And I remember seeing him crying and then going back to try and get the ball and get on with it. And I tell you what, I wouldn't see any one of our players give the sort of passion that I saw from Richard Stearman that day. None of them, I don't think, would do anything like that. Just before, there's been no, I can't believe in this hour there's been no transfer signings. We assumed there would be some. Taylor.
Maybe in 4 minutes. Maybe
in 4 minutes. We'll keep going. Yeah. Taylor, how worried are you about relegation now, being honest?
Saturday was I know it should have been ages ago, but Saturday was the first time, because I thought Andy King's at the helm now. I'm not thinking we're going to play like Barcelona, but I thought we would have had a bit of a reaction. We didn't. There was nothing. It was just as bad as Oxford, if not worse. That's the first time I've genuinely thought, okay, I'm now very concerned about relegation. Because if you look at the teams below us, Oxford destroyed us, Charlton destroyed us, West Brom, I don't know how we decided to beat them. Blackburn, I don't know if I've said that, destroyed us. Portsmouth, we couldn't beat at home. Charlton, all these Sheffield United destroyed us. Like, all the teams below us are better than us.
Yeah. Clibbo, are you worried about relegation? Do you think we're staring at it now? Because Taylor's just said, and I totally agree with him, right up until Saturday, and when Andy King was interim, I thought this is where the magic of Leicester just kickstarts. I really was thinking, do you know what? Here we go. And when we got that penalty at 2-0 down, I'd already had a bet with my lad that we were going to come back and win 3-0. It cost me £5 because as soon as we hit the post, it was the quickest bet over. But Clibbo, I thought this is our Leicester. We score the penalty, we win 3-2. Andy King's Blue and White Army. But when it didn't happen, I'm like Taylor. I went, I think we're 100% in the relegation battle.
So here's my issue. My issue is that to get out of a relegation scrap, you need a spark. That could have been it. It turned out to be a false dawn. Now, if you look at who's in the bottom part of the in the relegation scrap, West Brom might be scratching to try and get out. But if the spark is that we get 9-point deduction, that could lift so many teams down there to actually give them hope. That's what worries me. So, yes, I do believe we're in a relegation fight if that happens.
And Reedy, you've always been positive. What's your thought on it?
As much as I there's like probably a 95% chance we are going to get a point deduction, I still think because of how we got skated last time, and I know that was because of a loophole, I for some reason have a feeling that somehow we're going to escape as many points as we think it's going to be. If it's going to be 9, maybe we might get 3 or 6. I don't know. I've still got hope that something like that would happen. But if we did get 9, it's gonna kill the little sort of hope we've got of this club. Because again, as much as I'd say we have got a better team than relegation easily, again our team should be clear enough of relegation. But if you get 9-point deduction, you get put in relegation zone. The hope and desire of trying to do what we can is probably going to be gone, and we'll probably lose every game from there. But again, it doesn't help when you're giving the likes of Oxford and Charlton 3 points, because they basically then, now if we get 9 deduction, they're going to be above us already. Like, we've just gave them the chance to get out of the relegation zone if we go into it by beating us. I'm gonna
ask everybody watching this. A lot of people, just before we bring you the last bit of transfer day news in there, I want to know, everybody watching this, does anybody still think we could make the playoffs? I'm going to ask that question out to everybody.
Playoffs.
Because I know, that's why I'm asking people, do you think we could make the playoffs, or have you literally given up the season? Because even me as an ardent Leicester hopeful, glasses half full, I think I'm down to about 5% that we could get in the playoffs. So which one of you wants to pick up on that? Do any of the people go on, Reedy? You can go first, then Clibbo. Go on, Reedy.
If Enzo comes, yes. If anyone else, no.
Thanks. Get rid of Reedy. No, I'm only joking, mate.
If Enzo comes in, I think there's a good chance. If there's anyone else, I'm sorry, it's just survival.
I don't see that. Clibbo?
Well, I don't think that too much needs altering because of the standard of the league to actually make a push. Now, it's largely going to depend, like Reedy said, who comes in as manager and how the new players settle. Because a leader at the back and a stronger midfield could change everything. So you never say never. I think there is less than a 50% chance, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Wow, Clibbo, you're still giving it almost a 50% chance that we can make the playoffs.
No, well, not 50. I said less than 50. I'm being a bit coy.
I think, from what I can remember, do you know when Forest first came back to the Premier League of what?
They were
4 or
bottom.
5 years ago. They were bottom 3, and they
were
had
They were bottom
Yeah, I was
three,
gonna say, I'm not-
but in September, Reedy.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that I know it's never going to be easy, but I think, like Clifford said, you can get a run of a few games together, and you've got the momentum. Then you could start and make a charge. But again, it all depends on who comes in. It all depends if the players can be turned around. And like I said, I don't think there is going to be too much to change to get them working because we do score goals. I'm not saying we score loads of goals, but we score enough goals to win games. Which the amount of goals we concede or the amount of mistakes we make. If you cut out these certain issues, we will get it.
Yeah, Mark, playoffs.
I can recall 1996 where I think under Martin won the last 6 out of the final 8 games and somehow sneaked on the final day at Watford.
We've all seen it, Mark. This is the thing. Us older lot have seen it happen, so we know.
I mean, if you can remember that March time where we're losing against Sheffield United and we were miles away, we were mid-table and miles away from the playoffs, but we recruited Muzzy Izzet and Claridge, etc. So I think what the guys have said, right, it depends who we get to the door today, really, and who becomes the manager. It's not impossible, but I would say it's unlikely.
Yeah. And Taylor?
First of all, I can't hear Phil, but I'm guessing the question is, can we get playoffs? Which I don't think we can at all. Because all these teams you're all talking about probably had such fight, such positivity around the club, such like leaders, and like that year we had when we were a Great Escape year. Like they weren't the best players, but they had, all of them wanted it more than anything. I don't think anyone in our team is as passionate as they should be, and no, I don't think we can get playoffs.
I mean, me, Mark, Clibbo, definitely nodding.
Phil.
It's all right. We're definitely nodding because we agree with what you've just said. Those teams, Mark, all those teams that we've just talked about, it is fight, isn't it? And that's what I walked out of the King Power on Saturday going, I have seen teams with fight over the years, and I've also seen teams over the years with no fight. And I'm trying to remember a team where I've seen as little fight as this, because that's what I say, 2007 and 8, we were rubbish, but we were fighting a little bit. I go back to the David Pleat era, which is a long time ago, where it was like, there is no fight.
But in them days, though, we had Ali Mocklin, didn't we? I think it was at the time. We had a few characters, Steve Walsh, Mocklin, at least we put a tackle in. We weren't easy on the eye, but at least we had a bit of fight in us.
Yeah, it is tricky. Right, Reedy, has there been any last minute transfer news? Because it's now 8:05.
Yeah, if there would have been, it would have been either before 8 o'clock, or now it'll probably be either 15:15 or half-past. Like I said, we never do it any time other than that. So
why?
Yeah,
why do we never do it any other time, Reedy?
It's always on. It's always, I don't know why. It's always either on a certain time, or it's never like 5 or 8 minutes past. It's always 15:15, half-past, or whatever.
Let's like Wilkins fax machines plugged in again, eh?
14 seconds. We've seen it before.
Adrian Silva all over again.
Yeah.
Just very quickly then, and I'll ask this to anybody who wants to shut their hand up and answer it. Is this a disaster if it's only one signing?
Yes.
I think everyone. I think everyone would say yes. To be honest, again, we've brought one in, as in announced. We've been linked with 2 or 3 loans that should be going through. To be even honest, even with all 3 of them, I'd still say it's a poor window. So,
Anybody want to pick up on that, Mark, Clibbo, Taylor?
Well, I mean, it's like we were saying earlier. It smacks of desperation. So it depends which way you look at it. They put themselves in a desperate situation. They've gone and looked at what they could get. Maybe this is all they could get. I mean, look at the player we've just signed. He's had a torrid 2 years. The fans in Southampton think he's lazy. They can't believe that we bought him. They're taking the mick basically out of us. So we've just got to hope that these really, really risky signings pay off. But like I say, that's the position that the club have put themselves in, and maybe this is all the scraps that they could collect. So in that case, if that is all they can get, at least they've made some, headway in getting some bodies in. I suppose that's the only positive you can look from it.
And just remember, we can't use the one player we've got in the door for the next 2 games as well. Well, after Burnley.
Yeah, because of Southampton twice.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, that's just so not thought about, isn't it? Crazy.
It does go a bit like that. People are saying the window. Steve King says, did the window not close at 7? It did, but if you've got your paperwork in, you've apparently got till 9 o'clock to get things done. So that's why we're thinking some deals would be done, Steve, but nothing as yet. Wayne says he thinks it'd be a total disaster. Dean says they're probably doing 5 medicals. It's just so strange that it's so last minute. Bazza says here, yet again, the club have showed the fans their intentions, same old, by doing it this way. Martin says, yes, a waste of how can Top justify what he said with this signing of just one in there. Mark, listen, thanks so much for joining us. I'll let you join us again, Mark, because it's been, I think, first time to get you on. It's been great to get your insight. I know it's been a bit of a funny show because of transfers and so much to talk about, but thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the offer. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Clibbo as well. You must come on more often as well, Clibbo. We seem to have not seen you much more recently, so great to get you back on.
I've had to have 2 surgeries, mate, so I've been out of the game for a while, so I'm kind of back now.
Well, first of all, Clibbo, I hope you're well. Are you doing all right, mate?
Yeah, not too bad now.
Good. Well, great to have you back and great to get Mark on. So I'll let both of you two go. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great. Cheers.
Thanks a lot,
guys. Great for Mark and great for Clibbo to come on. Really, it's just me and you for the last couple of moments. Ryan says all the paperwork could be done and they're doing the stupid before announcing it. You almost can imagine that's absolutely true, can't you, Reedy?
Well, yeah, it took us 2 weeks to do the Fatahu announcement. we saw him going to do the stuff on 2 weeks before it was announced. Well, it took him 2 weeks to do that. We'll probably do this and we'll probably wait another 3 weeks before it gets announced. I'm just hoping, like I say, there could be like something come out in 1 minute because it's 10 past for a quarter past announcement, but I don't see it. I think if anything, for the next 2 signings, I can see it being at 1:30 for one announcement for one player, and then 9 o'clock on the dot for the next announcement.
I don't get why, Reedy, you say they do this. We have to announce it at certain times. Surely
it's not about having to.
Photos, no, but photos done. Here's the post written. We both work in social media. It's done. It's like sitting there waiting with your finger on the button going, oh, I'm not posting it yet because there's still 8 minutes until that thing. Just announce it, for God's sake.
No, I agree. But like I say, I agree, but we've seen it. I've seen it for the last 4 or 5 signings we've made. It's always been on the dot for whatever reason. Again, the announcement for we've got a new signing for Aribo was at 25 minutes past 4. They came out at 4:30. It was just obvious it was going to come out at 4:30. Again, it's 10 past now. Will it come out at 4:15? Just double checking now to see if anything's come out. And no, never mind.
No, that was nothing. So
it will be if we've got 2 more people, it'll be at 8:30 and 9 o'clock. I'll be shocked if it isn't.
I guess that's where we're going to leave it. We've been live long enough. Everybody's been hanging on in there. Bazza, yeah, it really hurts the way we've gone as a club. I'm afraid I think you sum it up for everybody there, Bazza, because we're coming up to a 10th year anniversary of winning the Premier League, and this, however bad this season was, we should have been looking back and going, oh, what a memory that was to do it. And I don't know about you guys, we've been talking about lots of things we should do to commemorate the Premier League win because it was that good. I don't feel like anybody's in the mood at the moment to do anything like that, Reedy.
Well, no, because it's the way we're in at the moment. Again, if we, as much as it was one of the best achievements in the world for football, the way we're in now, and there's a chance that we could go to League One, people thinking, well, what's there to celebrate? In the fact of like, yes, it was brilliant 10 years ago, but in 10 years on, we could be League One.
It is worth celebrating, and we will celebrate it, but it would be almost embarrassing to celebrate it. I just think of all the people I know who are Forest fans, my cousins, my relatives, who've given me years of shit for being Leicester fans, and then we've had 10 years where I've been able to give it them back, and then to go, oh, it was 10 years ago we won the Premier League, but now we're getting relegated to League One. I can't. I'm not sure I can take the embarrassment of all that. Just trying to be 10 years. They've probably got a whole range of T-shirts saying 10-year anniversary from Leicester City, and people will just be like, "Yeah, you can keep it because I can't afford to keep shoveling money into you lot."
Yeah, well, I can remember as when Forest first got promoted and they put a post out saying sliding into the Premier League. And we even said the moment that came out, we thought, do you know what? We'll clip that, keep that photo, and in a year's time when they get relegated, we'll post it. And in fact, we're the ones that are bloody down here now. So
yeah, I can imagine that. Anyway, right, let's finish it there. Thanks, Reedy, for joining us, and thanks everybody for getting your comments in. Very disappointing that we didn't get more transfer announcements live. It's just not happened tonight, and we're going to leave it there because they've had 32 days of the transfer window to get this done. It's now 8:15. If they just can't get it done in these times, if they are taking some stupid media photos, I think they're missing the trick. Fans just want to get things announced so we can all move on a bit. Of course, Enzo would be better than any other manager I've seen linked with Leicester, Reedy. So without shadow of a doubt, yes, I would have him back. I don't think for a microsecond he would want to come back to Leicester.
No, I agree.
That's why I wouldn't even have the debate over Enzo, because it would be stupidity of him to come back.
If he's still favourite, I'll take it.
Well, that's just the bookies because everybody's gone on social media in there. Bazza ends, but we'll always be a Fox. Of course we will, mate. Even in League One, even if we went down to the non-league.
Hey, we're all going to be Foxes, and even this man here is still a Fox. If you've seen some stuff going on social media the last few weeks, he still watches every game, even if he doesn't want us to be there to watch it. He'll still be there to watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for your views or comments. We'll post things out as and when it happens. And join Jono and Simon on Thursday for the Fox's Focus show. We might even do a live tomorrow just with me and Reedy Mike from the office at lunchtime. So probably tune in at lunchtime and we'll have a chat about signings or the lack of them today. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
I was reading transfer news, Reedy. I forgot to end the stream. See everybody. Although I've just seen, it looks like we have signed that Dujuan Richards, but it's still not official. Official. It's still not official. What? This club. If I didn't love it, it would do my nutting. See you all later.